Welcome back. Have you ever had a brilliant idea or a nagging question about the world and wondered, how do you even begin to research that? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down those very first super crucial steps that take a spark of curiosity and turn it into a real research project.
Now, in a previous explainer, we talked about the big picture stuff, theory and conceptual frameworks. Today, we're going to get our hands dirty. The whole process is kind of like a funnel. We're going to start really broad, and then step by step, we'll narrow it all down until we have a razor-sharp, testable plan.
Okay, let's jump right in. Every single great research project, every one, starts with an idea. It's that first step at the wide mouth of our funnel. But where do the really good ideas, the ones that have legs, actually come from?
Yeah, it's not like they just fall out of the sky. It turns out, really solid research topics are usually sparked by a combination of three key ingredients that give them purpose and the momentum to keep going.
So here's the magic formula. The best topics live at the intersection of these three things. Your personal passion is the fuel that keeps you going late at night. The social significance means your work could actually matter to real people. And that scientific significance? That ensures you're joining a larger conversation, not just shouting into the void.
All right, so you've got your brilliant idea. What's next? Well, before you dive in, you gotta see what other people have already said about it. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? This is where we do a literature review.
Think of the literature review as your treasure map. It shows you the terrain of the academic world on your topic. It tells you what we already know, what's being argued about, and, this is the most important part, where the gaps are. Finding one of those gaps, that's your X marks the spot. That's where you can make a real contribution.
And check this out. This is a perfect example of a literature review in action. The researcher isn't just making a laundry list of books. No, they're telling a story. They're connecting the dots from a landmark study in 1989 all the way to a problem that, decades later, still needs to be solved. That's the whole point.
So, now that you know what's already out there, it's time to get really specific. We're moving further down the funnel, shifting from a huge, broad topic to a sharp, focused, and, most importantly, answerable research question.
You might start with something big like this. And hey, it's an important topic for sure. But trying to study poverty among graduates is like trying to study the ocean. It's just way too massive. Where would you even begin?
And boom, look at the difference. This is a transformation. Now we've got a specific age group, a specific employment status, a specific location. We have a clear, focused question that you can actually design a study to answer. Now that's a research question.
Okay, so we're shifting gears a little bit. We've gone from a topic to a question. Now, we're going to propose a potential answer. This is where we create a clear, testable statement about what we think we're going to find. We call this our hypothesis.
So a hypothesis basically takes your question and turns it into a claim that you can test with data. And it's not just a wild guess, right? It's an informed guess. It's based on all that homework you did during your literature review.
Here's a great example. See how clear that is? It's not just saying these two things are connected. It's proposing a very specific relationship. As one thing goes up, the other thing goes up too. It's a bold claim, and now we can actually go out and see if it's true.
And to test it, you gotta know your variables. In this case, the hypothesis suggests that residential segregation, that's the cause, has an impact on collective identification, that's the effect. This simple cause and effect structure is really the engine of a powerful hypothesis. This brings us to the very tip of our funnel. This is the final and maybe the most practical step of them all. We have to take these abstract ideas from our hypothesis and figure out how in the world we're actually going to measure them. This is a process called operationalization.
Okay, I know it's a big word, but the idea is simple. This is how we move from the world of abstract ideas to the world of concrete data. It's where we get super specific and define exactly what we're going to observe or ask to measure our concepts.
Let's use another example. Social class, political conservatism. These are huge, fuzzy concepts. You can't just look at someone and see their social class, right? So how on earth do you measure them?
Well, here's how. We break them down into concrete things we can measure called indicators. So instead of trying to measure social class as one big thing, we measure income, level of education, and type of job. Instead of conservatism, we can ask about specific views on things like welfare. These indicators act as stand-ins for our big, abstract ideas.
And there you have it. Look how far we've come. We started with a huge, general idea, and we've gone through this whole funnel,
systematically filtering and focusing, all the way down to a solid, measurable plan of attack for our research.
At the end of the day, this isn't just some boring academic exercise. This 5-step funnel is a seriously powerful way to think. It gives you a roadmap to investigate pretty much any question you're curious about, turning a vague, "I wonder," into a focused inquiry. So think about it. What hidden relationship in your world could you uncover?